Hey ellexarmy, and welcome back. Today we are wrapping up our two-part series on the good sub test, 8 traits of a healthy and empowered submissive. So if you missed last week, go back and watch the video. I put the links in the description. But today we are jumping into 5 more traits to identify a healthy and empowered submissive, regardless of where you fall on the gender or kink spectrum. Empowered submissive is aware of their limits. Now, this not only means they are aware of their hard limits, the things that we are never going to touch, we don't want to have anything to do with, and our soft limits, limits that we have now, they may change later, some curiosities perhaps. So a good, healthy, empowered submissive is aware of their limits. They have limits. They're not going into this without any sets of limits or any sets of boundaries whatsoever. So not only do they know their hard and soft limits, but they also have personal boundaries and express those personal boundaries. So even out of play, even out of a scene, we have some boundaries for ourselves, some personal boundaries, some things that we will and will not do, will and will not engage in, will and will not tolerate. A healthy, empowered submissive is aware of their limits and aware of their boundaries. A good sub is also aware of their gifts and talents. Every submissive is different, every submissive's personality is different, and every submissive will bring a unique style of submission and gifts and talents to you as their dominant. So a healthy and empowered sub acknowledges their areas of excellence. They know that, hey, I'm good at this, I'm good at this. These are where I excel. These are my areas of excellence. And a good sub will also be aware of their areas of opportunity. We know that, hey, we don't know everything. We have areas that we can improve, we have areas that we can grow, but we are not so crippled by insecurity that we fail to recognize what we do bring to the table. Now, this one may seem obvious, but let me break it down for you. A good, healthy, empowered submissive will also have the desire to serve and support. Now, I say this because submission is not just about kinky sex, just like dominance is not just about kinky sex. So you can have a quote submissive come to you, dominance, and really just want to be dominated sexually, and they don't want to be submissive. They just want to be a bottom in a sexual scene. A healthy, empowered submissive in a DS dynamic has the desire to serve and support. They're not just there for the kinky sex and the spankings. They have a desire to serve and support and take some pressure off of their dominance schedule, plate, agenda, etc. And this is an important point because submissives, you have to lock it into your head that you are also a vital counterpart to your DS dynamic. Your dominant is not just the only one of significance or importance here. You are a vital counterpart to the dynamic. Your dominant needs you to fulfill their role just as much as you need them. So if a healthy, empowered submissive has that perspective that, yeah, I am vital to this dynamic, I'm vital to this power exchange, and I want to serve this dynamic and serve this power exchange, that is what we're looking for. And this brings me to my next point, which is empowered. A healthy submissive feels empowered in their role. They do not feel intrinsically weaker or less significant or of lesser value just because they are submissive. They understand, hey, I gave my consent to this, my enthusiastic consent, my mindful, willing, and uncoerced choice to say yes, and I have the ability to revoke that yes at any time without fear of repercussions. I am powerful here. I have choice here. I have influence here. A healthy, empowered submissive understands the power that they truly do possess. And finally, a healthy, empowered submissive is interdependent, not codependent. An interdependent submissive knows that they have value in of themselves. They feel worthy and complete and full of value on their own. They don't need anyone to complete them. They don't need a dominant to complete them. They are complete as they are. But they really, really want that other half to serve and support and speak into their life and guide them and nurture them. They want it, they crave it, but they're not incomplete without it. That is the difference between an interdependent sub and a codependent sub. A codependent sub is going into this dynamic because they don't have any worth or value on their own, and they have to find a dominant that can constantly fill the void and constantly affirm them and constantly reassure them that they are enough and that they're worthy and they're valuable. That's not what you want to be spending your time doing the entire time when you're playing or not dominance, is it? We don't want to constantly have to soothe. Our submissive has to have a certain level of interdependence. Now, you can want to rely on us for guidance and input and leadership and care and all of that, and that's great. But are you complete on your own? Or do you feel so broken, so without value, that you're just clinging to anyone and anything to give you value?